Hey guys, so today I just wanted to talk a little bit about practicing semen retention in the context of being in a relationship. So for me, I got into semen retention about 4 years ago when I was single at this point in my life, and I went through sort of a long period of being single where I was just sort of working on myself, clearing myself, really trying to strengthen my energy and just deal with a lot of personal issues I had going on before I was in a relationship with someone else. I just wanted to be really clear in my own flow. So I had been practicing semen retention and these different sexual practices to circulate sexual energy throughout the body and transmute the energy. So by the time I did get into a relationship, I had a pretty solid foundation with the practices, and so it was a lot easier for me to integrate this into the relationship at this point. So if you're going to practice semen retention and be in a relationship, there's a few things I think you need to know, and some basic sort of practices and just guidelines I think you need to be going by. So for me, the most important thing is to, if you're going to be sexually active and be able to successfully retain your semen, you need to know how to draw the energy from the testicles, from the genitals to the rest of your body, or else if you're having sex and not ejaculating, you can get a lot of congestion in that area, get blue balls and things like that, or just ejaculate because you can't control it. So I see this a lot where these guys who are doing NoFap for long periods of time, where they're going months without any sexual contact at all, like their penis hasn't been touched by them or others in like months maybe, and then they finally get into a relationship and have problems with like premature ejaculation, like lasting like a couple minutes, because it's been so long since that area of their body has been used that they go right back into old sexual habits and just ejaculate in a short amount of time. So it's important to, in my opinion, work with yourself, work with your own body, and learn how to circulate this energy and control your ejaculation when under stimulation, so that when you're with a partner, you're able to control it and you're able to, go as long as you want and still not ejaculate. And of course, you can still have orgasms. You can still have these higher states of orgasms, these full body orgasms, non-ejaculatory. So it takes some training, and there's different practices you can learn, which I also teach, to be able to circulate this energy out of the body and control your ejaculation. So it's important that it's about changing your sexual habits and learning these higher techniques of sexual kung fu to improve your lovemaking skills and working with your sexual energy. So the benefit to bringing this into a relationship, in my experience, is a deeper level of exchange. When you stop ejaculating, for a man, once you stop focusing on ejaculation, then it totally changes the sexual act. You're no longer sort of focusing on this one period, the climax, where you're just trying to reach this point and reach this, this peak of, maybe 5 to 10 seconds of intense pleasure, and then nothing, it's gone. And so when you stop focusing on that, then the whole act of lovemaking becomes like one long orgasm in itself. So you're much more in the moment. And to be able to do this, first of all, you have to be able to be very embodied and learn to circulate energy throughout your body. So this brings you into a very a fluid state of being in the moment, being present with all of the sensations, your interactions with your partner, just really taking your time and enjoying every moment of it, focusing on your partner's pleasure as well. So there's really the opportunity for a much deeper level of exchange between you and your lover when you're practicing semen retention and these higher sexual practices. And you also get into these much deeper, much more powerful orgasmic states, where your energy is just building and building. And what normally happens, if a man's ejaculating, the energy builds up and then it goes out the path of least resistance, the penis. You ejaculate and then it's over. But when you can contain that energy, it builds up, you breathe it through the body, draw it up, and then that that energy is now fused throughout your body, and so your whole body starts pulsing, and then you continue lovemaking, the energy builds up, you draw it, and you draw it, and then you can also exchange this energy with a partner, whose energy is building up and rising as well. So it just becomes this incredibly powerful, beautiful orgasmic experience between you and your lover, and it's just a very, very deep exchange, better than anything I ever experienced in my days when I was just simply ejaculating, So it allows for a much deeper, more profound sexual experience between you and a lover, and it doesn't have to end at any point. When you are retaining your semen, you can go on as long as you want, as many times a day as you want. You're always able to. When you ejaculate, that energy's gone. You're drained, and you may have to wait, minutes or hours or days to be able to perform again. So that does not have to be the case. You can keep the lovemaking going as long as you want when you're retaining your semen. Once you learn how to control this, it becomes effortless. A lot of these techniques I teach may seem a little awkward in the beginning because you're changing your habits, but once you get these energy channels opening and they're flowing, it becomes your natural habits now, is to circulate the energy and draw it, and it becomes effortless to control your ejaculation and have full body orgasms. It's pretty incredible. So it takes a lot of practice, and it's good to practice on your own to learn these methods. The drawing method to circulate sexual energy away from the genitals as it builds up. Working with breath. All these different meditation and energetic exercises to help you control your ejaculation and bring the sexual energy throughout the body. It takes some training, but it's enjoyable practice to be training in, and once you get it, you've got it, and your sex life will increase by 100-fold. So it's definitely worth it. Another thing is that something a lot of men have to deal with if you're practicing semen retention. If you're with a woman, a lot of women, you will find that the longer you go, the more the woman may want you to ejaculate. So communication here is important. I think there's something about, that physical sign, the receiving the sperm itself, as a woman, that just sort of makes them feel like they've received something special, something tangible that their man has given only them, So some women get attached to that idea. So I think communication here is important. If you make your practice very mechanical and make the whole thing about you not ejaculating, saving your sperm, then your partner may start to feel a little disconnected from you. So it's important to explain what you're doing with your partner, to tell them the reasons for retaining your semen. Tell them that you want to keep this energy so that you have more energy to exchange with them, so that you're not depleted by this act, and that you have more energy, more love to give them. Because when you practice these deeper conscious sexual practices with a partner, you will find yourself getting very connected, very deeply with them. So that this is a bit of a warning as well. So not just sort of sleep around unconsciously with people, because you're going to be connecting very deeply with them, which of course is the case anytime you have sex, but it's even more potent when you're containing that energy and consciously exchanging it. So choose your partner carefully. So communication is very important. Just try not to be too mechanical with the practices of containing your semen. And eventually, every now and then you may ejaculate. This is fine. In my opinion, it's nothing to get too obsessed about. It's not going to kill you when you ejaculate now and then. So don't associate guilt with it. It will happen from time to time, maybe. So don't worry too much about that. Just focus on the recirculation of the energy. Using that sexual energy for greater things. And so the number one intention should be recirculating the sexual energy and using it for greater things versus just focusing on not ejaculating. It's like, well, why are you not ejaculating? What are you going to do with that energy instead? And if you don't have something that you're doing instead with it, if that intention is not clear, then you may be practicing for the wrong reason. So intention and clarity are important to have at all times. So really, I think that practicing semen retention and being in a relationship is just an opportunity to really amplify that relationship, especially when you and your partner are both practicing these sexual practices together. It's just incredible, when you're consciously exchanging your energy, moving energy throughout your channels in coordination. You'll get into these insanely powerful orgasmic states that you've never experienced before. I guarantee it. So it's really a new territory for a lot of people to be exploring, and it's incredible. So I hope this brought you some clarity and maybe a different view on things. So practice well, be well. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.